RTD wants to dramatically lower its fares and make them easier to understand. They're recommending going from 3 types of fares down to 2.
RTD is going to present the proposal to their board next week. They're suggesting eliminating the number in the middle there, the regional fares, and slightly reducing both the local pass and the ride to the airport. They're also suggesting huge reductions in the cost of monthly passes.
9 News reporter Steve Steger is live at the light rail station near I-25 and Broadway with a breakdown as to what we can expect. Steve?
Kim, this would be huge for people who work at the airport. Right now, a monthly pass that includes the airport costs about $200 a month. It would go down to $88 a month under this proposal. There are also some big cuts for people who qualify for low-income fares. And RTD is really hoping that these changes in its fare structure, which are some of the steepest fares in the country, will actually equal more people on buses and trains.
One glance at RTD's current fare sheet at your train or bus station, you'll feel like you need an extra college degree just to try to figure out what you're supposed to pay.
We knew that our fare structure was confusing. It was complicated between local fares and regional fares, airport fare. For new riders, it's challenging.
Challenging enough, the transit agency is considering a change, a huge one. At next week's board meeting, RTD will float a massive reduction and restructuring of its fares. Stuart Summers is RTD's chief spokesman.
We recognize that our fare was expensive, that individuals told us oftentimes that it doesn't match the level of service that you provide.
Under a proposal the agency unveiled this afternoon, RTD wants to eliminate its regional fares, charging full fare riders $275 for a 3-hour pass to get anywhere but the airport. The airport fare will reduce by 50 cents back to $10. People who get RTD discounts like seniors, people with low incomes, and people with disabilities would be able to ride anywhere for $1.35 and get a monthly pass for just $27. And RTD wants to expand the pool of people who qualify for their low income program. For an agency struggling financially, Summers says these new numbers would still work with its budget.
We have done the financial forecasting and modeling, and we feel confident in these numbers.
And he says surveys have shown more accessible fares will mean more people on trains and buses.
And they've told us if there is something you can do to remove the barriers to using your services, ridership will increase.
So RTD is also looking at potentially making it free for kids 19 and under to ride for at least 1 year for a trial period. This is by no means a done deal. Still has to go before the full RTD board for approval. Then they'll have to do another study to make sure that this doesn't disproportionately impact people of color or low-income communities. If all of that goes through and everything is approved, this would not be effective, guys, until early next year.
Okay, well, in time, it sounds like a pretty good deal.
The business of RTD continues to be under the microscope. All right, Steve, thanks. Speaking of that, the free transit rides program could be expanding. It was established last year, and RTD riders were able to get free train and bus rides for the month of August statewide. The idea was to help cut down on car emissions. Well, ridership rose 36% in the metro area compared to the prior August. The Colorado House okayed a bill today to allow free transit rides during other times of the peak ozone season, June through August. That bill now goes to the Senate.
Encouraging news from the Suncor refinery tonight. The company has begun to repair and restart work on one of its 3 plants. Gas prices have gone up nearly $1 a gallon since December's freezing temperatures caused problems at the plants, forcing temporary closures. A Suncor spokesperson says Plant 2 should be back up and running sometime next week. They're still doing repairs and reassessments on the other 2 plants. Company officials expect the whole facility to be fully operational by the end of March.
Video of a police officer using his cruiser to ram a suspect on a motorcycle is raising questions about what did happen in Littleton. The officer then fatally shot that suspect when police claim he produced a gun. Well, now a use of force expert is weighing in on the video that captures what police didn't initially reveal. Investigative reporter Jeremy Hahola first obtained this video. He now has more on what's next in this investigation.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. As you just said there, police say they fatally shot this suspect because he produced a gun. What happened before that has been captured on camera and could mean the officer will face some pretty tough questions about what he did that night. This video shows the Littleton police officer using his patrol car to ram into the suspect. The man on the motorcycle is 41-year-old Stephen Poulsen, who was on a stolen motorcycle. Initially, police did not reveal that this ramming happened. They initially said Poulsen crashed his motorcycle before the officer fatally shot him. A use of force expert who looked at this video says using a patrol car against a motorcyclist is generally discouraged across police departments in the nation, and that anytime an officer uses their car against someone, it's considered deadly force.
Now, under police law, standard police law, in training and practice, the use of such a vehicle in that manner would need to be justified by the existence of an immediate threat of serious threat of immediate safety to that officer or to others.
So, to sum this up, the officer will have to convince investigators he believed the man on that bike was going to hurt him or other people immediately down the road. In the meantime, the Littleton Police Department says an outside team of investigators is looking at this case. The officer here remains on standard paid leave. Tom?
Another case where video is telling quite a story.
Yeah.
Much more to come.
And much more to come, and possibly more video.
All right, Jeremy. Yep. Thank you.
Denver police hope someone will help them find a 30-year-old woman from Denver who's been missing for nearly a week. Miranda Connor was last seen about 1 a.m. February 3rd, last Friday. She was seen near 44th and Argonne in the Green Valley Ranch neighborhood. Investigators say they're concerned about her welfare, but this case is getting some attention thanks to the Doc Ellis Foundation, which creates awareness for missing persons of color. If you have any information, call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers. A library in Littleton still has meth contamination nearly a month after tests revealed the problem. So starting today, it's doing a curbside book pickup service to its readers. And this comes after new testing shows the Bemis Library had contamination in a fourth bathroom, along with another room connected to the HVAC system. No word how long this cleanup is going to take.
Douglas County commissioners are celebrating because they say that they've reduced the number of people living on their streets. This comes after the county received pushback last year for transporting people experiencing homelessness to other places. 9 News reporter Katie Eastman now with more.
In a rare occurrence, Douglas County commissioners held a press conference Thursday morning, their first one in 4 years.
Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Republican County Commissioner Abe Layden is celebrating what he says is a reduction in homelessness in Douglas County.
But what we know undoubtedly today is that there are fewer people living on the streets in Douglas County than there were in 2022.
Layden says he knows that because of preliminary numbers from the point-in-time count, a one-night-a-year event where volunteers survey people living on the streets or in shelters in their community. Layden says the numbers showed 27 people who were unsheltered on January 30th compared to 50 people on January 24th last year.
So why are we seeing this 46% reduction? We really attribute all of the success today to our HEART team and law enforcement officers.
HEART is their new homeless engagement assistance resource team. And while the Metro Denver Homeless Initiative supports that work, MDHI says there are too many variables with the count to compare 1 year's data to the next. Kathy Alderman with the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless agrees and says outreach can only go so far without shelter for all.
But if you're not even starting with that first step of providing people with a safe place to be, especially in these cold months, then you're really just shifting homelessness to other areas of the state that are providing those services.
Last year, the county faced criticism for a plan to send people experiencing homelessness outside of the county.
I want to be really clear, though, that we are not taking anybody anywhere. If they ask, we will take them. So if they have an aunt in Lakewood or Aurora, or they have a family connection, absolutely, but it's entirely on a voluntary basis.
Katie Eastman, 9 News.
The county also has a reintegration deputy, and they've transported 24 people since that job was created in October to places like sober living homes or shelters, all outside of Douglas County.